It's Tuesday, February 19, and time for your Barbados Today morning news update. Thanks for joining us. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Commuters may soon have to pay twice as much bus fare to use public and private transport. That's the word from Minister of Transport, Works and Maintenance, Dr. William Duguid, who contended that the current $2 fare is inadequate. However, he told parliamentarians during the estimates debate last night, while an increase was coming, it is yet to determine by how much.
So we have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of work we have to look at the fares that are being charged. We have not decided yet, but we have to make a decision what the bus fare will go to. Obviously, you would appreciate that bus fare has not gone up in Barbados for 20 years, but everything else has gone up. The price of supplies has gone up, the price of diesel has gone up, the price of insurance has gone up, the price of labor has gone up. We haven't made a decision if it will go up by $1.50 or if it will go up by $2. We don't know, but certainly all of that has to be assessed to make a decision as to where bus fares will go. But what we do know is that we must bring order to the roads. And there's no way that we will be looking at increasing a bus fare and not having a better, higher quality service where people are safe and where you can be confident that your child or your grandchild or your mother or your sister or your brother will be able to travel in a good, safe environment on the buses and on the public service vehicles of this country.
Dr. Duguid also revealed that his ministry was moving to crack down on fake taxi operators. He said plans are in the pipeline to introduce a metering system for taxis and having taxi signs properly displayed.
We also want taxis to carry a metered system because obviously that kind of service requires a metering rather than just point A to point B. And the metering is something that we're actively looking at. It will be going to Cabinet very, very shortly. There actually is already in the legislation a rate for metering. That will have to be assessed, and that is something that we're looking at. We're also looking that all taxis will have to be appropriately marked with taxi on the side of it, as well as having an appropriate taxi sign on top of the vehicle as well. And we want to get rid of what I call fake taxis. And this is a problem that we have in this country, and it was made highlighted that there are people who apply for a taxi permit not because they want to transport people from A to B, but they want the opportunity to get the duty-free car 5 years down the road. And we're going to bring that to an end. And I'm tired and fed up with fake taxis in Barbados.
Tourism Minister Kerry Simmons also put illegal taxi operators at the Grantley Adams International Airport on notice. In his address to Parliament last evening, the minister revealed that operators who do not have special license to operate from the facility were snatching up tourists and overcharging them.
We need to enforce the law. The airport CEO, I believe, has the power once you've gone through the court, or sorry, the court has the power once the process has been conducted to prevent or prohibit someone from the use of the facility. And we have been very reluctant to take that type of step. But I believe that you have to make an example of a few people who are intent on lawlessness, and therefore, if it means that you have to prohibit them from the use of the facility, then so be it. The reality is that if that's what the law provides for, then those are the steps that we can take. But what cannot be tolerated is that you have all and sundry going up there, passing themselves off as being legitimate operators of ground transportation services without paying any fee to use the facility as the legitimate operators must do.
In other news, the Salvation Army meets its funding target through the annual Christmas Kettle Drive. The funds will support the Army's annual outreach programs. Reporting on the results of the annual fundraiser, which ran from November 2018 to January this year, Divisional Commander Major Darrell Wilkinson said officials were heartened by the public's response given the challenging times.
Tremendous support they've given to us for our Christmas appeal. They've done very well on difficult circumstances, and we don't take it for granted because we realize there's so many other organizations who are vying for the same charity dollar, and we realize that they give out of their meager resources, and we want to say thanks to them, and we pray that God will continue to bless them and provide for them as they continue to live in these difficult times.
There's regional and international news after this short break. Barbados Today, news you can trust.
To our regional neighbors, officials in the Bahamas go on alert for illegal migrants in light of the unrest in neighboring Haiti. Repatriations have been put on hold for the time being, and officials are tightening border controls in preparation for an influx. We get more in this report from ZNS News.
Another round of protests have hit Haiti as political discord gives way to violence, and Haitian President Jovenel Moïse rejects calls to step down. The frequency of boat landings on Bahamian shores of late, signs of the internal fallout, along with the government's decision to place repatriation on hold for now.
A waiting and watching mode to see how things and if things can settle down so we can resume repatriations. In the interim, I can tell you that we are talking to some people on the ground in Haiti to see how quickly we can resume repatriation. The Defense Force and security services are on high alert. Of course, the United States Coast Guard is intimately involved with the Defense Force and police officers of the Bahamas through Operation Turks and Caicos, Bahamas Turks and Caicos, which is also involved in the fight against illegal migration.
Foreign Affairs Minister, the Honorable Darren Hentfield, says he's in regular contact with Haitian officials and looks forward to CARICOM talks in St. Kitts next week to strategize solutions to the disharmony.
And finally, in the United States, California and a dozen other states are filing lawsuits challenging President Donald Trump's national emergency declaration. At the core of each lawsuit is the argument that Trump is circumventing Congress to fund the wall along the U.S.-Mexico border by declaring an emergency. California Attorney General Xavier Becerra argues that the states have standing to challenge Trump because money appropriated to them might be at risk. He spoke to the NBC News.
The president admitted that there's not a basis for the declaration. He admitted there's no crisis at the border, and he's now trying to rob funds that were allocated by Congress legally to the various states and the people of our states. And so the separation of powers being violated, we're going to go out there and make sure that Donald Trump cannot steal money from the states and the people who need them, since we paid the taxpayer dollars to Washington, D.C. to get those services.
And that's news. But for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper email updates or like us on Facebook and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Isuni Media and bus terminals as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. And you can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Good morning.